go ahead and get started because I know you all have a life to lead, clients to attend to. And what I want to start with basically is just a quick note that we have Miranda, who is doing the behind the scenes tech work for us today. Miranda is my handy dandy right-hand woman extraordinaire. Danielle, who is my other handy dandy left-hand woman extraordinaire, is here on the webinar with us. And so those two are going to be handling any tech things that might come up. But at this point and moving forward, welcome Marie from the UK. This point moving forward, we are going to go ahead and mute the chat box. Like I said earlier, if you have questions, please just write those down next to you on your piece of paper. And towards the end of the webinar, at the very end, I'm going to leave time and we'll unmute the chat box at that point. You can pop your questions in there and I'll be sure to make sure that you get the answers you need before you leave today. All right. So hello and welcome. Yay. My name is Charity Gent, for those of you who have not met me before or are not familiar with me. And my company is Charity Gent Coaching and Consulting. And I just want to first say thank you for being here because I am pleased as peaches that you're here. And I have a ton of info that I am excited to share with you. So let's go to it. Just to make sure you're in the right place, you are all good if you are a coach looking to grow your client base. If you want to build your client list so you can make more money, make that bigger impact, that difference that we're all here to make. You are here and in the right place if you want to learn about some specific actions that you can use today, right now, after you get off this call, to get more clients into your practice without feeling salesy or icky. I'm here to give you the straight dirt. I've been in the trenches for a long time now in this coaching and client creation thing, and I've got some stuff I can share with you, and I'm going to do that. You can do the same for yourself as I have done. So if you're ready to shine your light and help your clients do the same, then let's get into what we're going to talk about today. A few housekeeping notes just for you to remember as we move through. This is going to be a 1-hour webinar, 60 minutes long. Please make sure you turn off any distractions and give yourself permission to be fully here and present during the webinar today. If you, like I said, want to take some notes, do so on that workbook link that is present in the chat box. And or if you've brought the workbook along with you, great. Everyone should have received a copy of it to download beforehand. And then we're going to, like I said, as before we got started, we're going to be opening up that chat box towards the end for Q&A. So just take down your notes, your questions, and put them in the chat box towards the end. And make sure that we stay connected. So if you didn't hear what I was talking about earlier, you just got on, that's great. Welcome. But I want to, and all the, by the way, replay viewers in the future, welcome you too. Anybody who is here, I'm just so excited to have you here. So if you want to connect with me more, you can do that on Charity's Good Vibe Tribe, which is on the Facebook. It's on Facebook. And if you just search Charity's Good Vibe Tribe, you can request to join and we'll be happy to welcome you with open arms into that loving and very information-rich community. And again, finally, Miranda is here to handle any tech issues on the back end. So I am so thankful to Miranda for that. A little bit about me and what the heck gives me the sort of credibility to be standing up here in front of you right now, letting you in on some of what worked for me in client creation. I have been coaching now for about 10 years, and I started out as an internal corporate coach working for an international franchise system. I actually was a coach/trainer. And it was sales and productivity training, helping real estate agents build and maintain their businesses. Because I have a very successful sales background and did a lot of teaching prior to that as an academic. I've worn many hats in my life. But in any case, took on the role of training and coaching new agents to build and maintain their businesses. Did that for about 5 years and then became very intrigued and fascinated by the power that coaching was having on those folks and on their businesses. So I decided to just full on become a life coach, really looking at everybody's whole life, not just their business life, and became certified through the Coaches Training Institute in 2010, where I then after that, shortly after that, launched my own business and have been doing this solopreneur gig ever since. So I have really gone from corporate coach to independent solopreneur and have seen both sides of what working as a coach is like, both in corporate and as an independent. And I'm here to share with you some of my lessons today. All right. Just to give you a sense too of the results I've seen over the years from coaching and why I believe in it so much. I have literally coached hundreds of individuals since 2006 to help them build their businesses. So I have a lot of stories to share with you guys, but more importantly, some finer points about what you can do to make sure you're heading your business in the right direction right now. I built my coaching client list from 0 to 31 in my first year, and there was no mystery or magic about it. It was a formula that I used, and I'm going to be sharing some of that with you today so that you can go out and do the same darn thing. I've seen the multiple six-figure lifestyle several times, or life, I mean, that marker that everybody puts out there is like, oh, I made six figures. Yeah, that's that. And the best part though, you guys, in all of this is that clients now come to me instead of me having to constantly go after and really work hard to create them. So these systems that I'm going to be teaching you and telling you about are going to allow you to do the same if you just stick with it consistently, okay? So here's what we're going to cover today specifically. Here's why you're here, and then we're going to get into it. So I'm going to teach you or tell you about how I grew my client list from 0 to 31. I'm going to give you my 3 absolute must-dos, must-do actions right now for getting coaching clients in your practice. I'm going to tell you where you can start finding your own clients, regardless of what niche you're in. Believe it or not, it all starts from the same place. I'm also going to be sharing with you my 5-step process for how to ask potential clients to work with you without feeling or sounding salesy or icky or bugging people. And I'm going to tell you about the 6 biggest lessons I learned and the pitfalls that you're going to want to avoid as you build your practice. We're going to talk about the 3 ways you can keep client creation fun and exciting, because if it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing. I always say my whole mantra about business: smart, sustainable, fun. And then I'm going to give you 7 things that you can do this week right now to start filling your coaching practice with clients. Then, like I said, at the very end, we're going to have some Q&A. And just before that, I'm going to be sharing with you some information about a program I have coming up regarding client creation that is meant to help support everything you're going to be learning here today. So a lot of people ask me why I do this, right? Why do I do this coaching thing? Why do I help other coaches? Well, here's why. You guys, what we do is so important. The work we do matters because what we do is shine the light so that others can shine brightly. I particularly like working with coaches because when I can help them build strong, sustainable, successful businesses, you guys feel better, right? And you shine brighter, and the world is a better place. So that is why I do what I do, and that is why I am here. And I do all of it with a spirit of, I try to do it with a spirit of fun and creativity, and I mix it in with some real business acumen from years of experience. So that's my big why and why I'm doing this and why I'm here today. So I really want you guys to go out after this and shine that light. Shine your light, be bright, and make the world a better place. I promise you today that you're going to get some highly valuable, actionable information from me. I'm going to teach you everything I know about client creation, and this is exactly how I do it with my clients, exactly what I teach them. And my hope is that at the end, you're going to have some things you can take out there that will help you feel better, shine brighter, and live the life of your dreams. And when you have clients coming streaming into your practice, you feel better about your business, and you shine brighter, and you therefore can create the life that you desire by design. So that's what we're up to today, is figuring out how do we get those clients coming in. So let's go to it. Let's begin with my 3 absolute must-do actions for client creation. Number 1, focus on building relationships. And I'm going to go deeply into each one of these 3 in a minute, more deeply. But for starts, focus on building relationships. Number 2, you're going to keep and nurture your list of special people and continually grow it. And number 3, you're going to give in order to get. And we're going to do that primarily through sample sessions. So let's start with number 1. Building relationships. So I want you to write down 3 letters next to your workbook line here. I don't think I put it on the workbook, but it's important. The key with when you focus on building relationships is ABC. Always be connecting. Meaning when you're out and about, you're meeting people, really be connecting with them. Listen, get to know them. really open up your heart to them and give yourself an opportunity to see their heart too. Don't go into it thinking that every person you meet, oh, could this be a potential client? Because that's no fun, first of all. And it's, right? That's a good way to feel about everything. So just go into it as, I'm making a relationship here. I'm meeting somebody new. I'm creating a new connection. Always be connecting. Show people that you really care about them. It all really comes back to that old saying, nobody knows how much you care, or nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So nobody is going to want to work with you or care about how you can help them unless they truly believe that you care about them and their welfare. And, if you can figure out what they care most about, and then if your services actually help them solve a problem that's important to them, boom, you're half the battle is won in creating clients. So focus on building relationships always. Number 2, keep and nurture your list of special people. This is the gold of your business. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business, because I don't care how many wonderful offers and programs you put out there, how creative and imaginative and fantastic they are. I don't care how many of your friends tell you that sounds great and everyone's so excited to come attend your whatever it might be. If you don't have the proper audience, the appropriate audience that you can regularly and consistently offer your programs to, you're going to be dead in the water. Okay. So I'm going to really just emphasize, I can't emphasize this enough, keep and nurture that list of special people. You got to interact with it systematically and consistently over time. You got to make sure that people on that list find what you're offering valuable. And the way you do that is because you solve a particular problem that they have. That simple, really. A lot of you guys are here today listening because what we all want as coaches a lot of the time is clients, right? So this is something that I see my people, my tribe needing information on. So I'm providing it. Do the same thing in your practice. Talk to people, ask them what they need, ask them what their challenges are, and then back engineer your programs accordingly. So number 3 then leads us to giving to get. So the third must-do action is giving to get, offering sample coaching sessions. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are going to push back on me on this. And I know, I get it. We don't want to devalue what we do. We don't want to not give credence to the importance and again, the value of what we do as coaches. So we don't want to be giving everything away all the time, right? But here's what I think trumps all of that. When you offer a sample session, you're doing several things. Number 1, you're giving people an opportunity to experience what coaching is all about. Not everybody knows what coaching is all about just yet, even though we feel like, how doesn't everybody know this stuff? No, we have not yet reached that Gladwellian tipping point where coaching is something that everybody recognizes as something that everybody needs. So number 1, see this as a point of education so that you can talk to those who you know and give them an opportunity to experience what coaching is. Number 2, when you solve a real life problem for them during this coaching session, they are going to see you as a professional of value, and they're going to start recommending you to other people. Even if they don't become your client, they can become your ambassador for your business, right? So you will send them out after you've had this profoundly impactful sample session and have them start singing your praises to others. And that is a wonderful way to begin word of mouth chain to getting more clients in the door for you. I also really like sample sessions because it sends a clear signal to the universe that this is what you want more of. I want to do more of this stuff. Bring me more of these, right? Because otherwise, if we're not clear on our intentions, the universe can't conspire to help us. And the universe is for us. It wants to help us. So I really feel that sample sessions are the way to go. Now, the best, of course, is when somebody comes in and does a profoundly impactful sample session with you, and then they decide that they're going to sign on as your client. Woohoo! Like that's the ultimate, right? And at the very minimum, you're getting momentum building around your business. Nature rewards activity, you guys. So by that I mean the actions you're taking to build some energy and some swirl and some electricity through these sample sessions around your business is really going to work to get clients coming to you. Okay. Trust me on this. It works every single time. All right, so now you know my 3 must-do actions. Let's talk about where you find these clients that are going to come and do all these sample sessions. Believe it or not, for everyone here on this webinar today, your clients are right in front of you. They almost always come from your sphere of influence. Let me say that again. Your clients are sitting right in front of you, regardless of your niche. They will come from your sphere of influence. So who is in your sphere? We're talking husband, wife, spouse, partner, grandma, mom, dad, sister, brother, all family, extended cousins, aunts, uncles. We're talking former colleagues. We're talking former mates from school. We're talking former collegiate friends. We're talking former babysitters you had maybe as a kid. Whoever, whatever, you're the person who does your hair, your dog walker. Anybody who knows you needs to be considered part of your sphere of influence. And the way you begin a high caliber quality list that's going to give you a return and bring clients to you is to start writing all those people down, making them part of that list of special people that you regularly, consistently, and systematically interact with. And then you will find that more and more referrals will be coming your way and more clients. So remember that your sphere actually includes, and Miranda, you can advance our slide for us. Your sphere is full of people who already have what I call the KLT factor. They already know, like, and trust you. And people do business with individuals who they know, like, and trust. They're already sitting there right in front of you. I just want you to let that sink in for a minute. People do business with who they know, like, and trust. So those relationships are key. All right, so how do we utilize this sphere of influence to create clients then? Well, like I said, sample sessions are my favorite place because it's really where you get in and have a soulful conversation about somebody's life. And then you attach action to that soulful conversation or that learning, and then they go out and get great results. And you just repeat, right? Keep doing it until it hurts. Keep offering sample sessions. Keep inviting people to do sample sessions with you until it hurts. And here is a little verbiage that I use when I was starting out. I would literally pick up the phone and call people and say to them, "Hey, Danielle, how are you? Listen, I just wanted to talk with you for a minute because I need your help." And I literally use those words. I need your help. I've just launched my coaching business, and I'm looking for 20 people over the next month to do complimentary sample sessions with me so that you can get a taste of what it is that I offer, what coaching is all about. And then perhaps you might be interested in working further with me. And if not, that's great too. There's no pressure, but you'll be able to then tell others about me because you will have experienced what coaching with me is like. People in your sphere of influence want to see you succeed. So when you ask them for help, they are going to respond to it. You are not bugging them, okay? You are not. You are giving up some of your expertise and training and time in order for them to get a taste of what coaching is all about. And they're going to get something out of it too. You're going to coach on a real life issue during that session that's going to be golden to them. It's going to make an impact on them. I guarantee it. So really make sure that you are getting out there and inviting people into those sample sessions. And remember, as you're giving those sample sessions, you're going to start seeing those people getting results. I always used to go in and calendar. So first of all, I should back up. I always used to, when I would have a sample session, assign homework to the person, regardless of whether or not they continued working with me. And I would literally go into my iCalendar and create a line that would say, 2 weeks from now, Janie owes me homework on blah, blah, blah. And then I would actually follow up with that person. And if they got great results, I would use that as testimonial fodder that I could throw out on social media. I would use it just to boost my own soul a little bit because some days are really hard doing this, as I'm sure you guys know. I wasn't shy about sharing my results because when people see success, they want to be part of it, right? So make sure you're keeping in touch with those sample session participants, asking them about their progress, getting their permission to share those results on social media. And remember, again, those people may not become your clients, but that's okay because they can become your ambassadors. And that's really what you're just focusing on, is the building relationships. Don't forget too, at the end of each sample session, And this is in pink here, this bullet point in pink, because it's important. Not that everything I say isn't important, but this one is really good because this is how I started to build outside my sphere. Anybody who did a sample session with me, I would then ask them at the end if they knew anybody who they would recommend that I could reach out to who could also do a sample session with me. So this is a great way to build from that referral base too. All right, so they said yes to a sample session, right? Now what? That's the big now what. So here are 5 steps, or here's my 5-step process for how I ask potential clients to work with me without sounding salesy or icky, okay? Step number 1. I want you to make sure you're setting the right expectations at the beginning of the sample session. Be clear that this session is not free. You're trading your time and expertise and training for their attention and experience and hopefully ambassadorship to help you build your business. And remember too, that at the beginning of the sample, how you set it up can be key. So what I like to tell people as soon as we get started in the sample is that we're going to do 4 things together today. All right, 4 big things. Number 1, we're going to talk about what coaching is and what it isn't, how it differs from counseling and consulting, etc. Number 2, we're going to review what a 10+ experience would be like for you, client, so that I make sure I deliver on whatever it is that you're wanting from today. Number 3, we're going to do some actual coaching around a real life issue of import to you. And you're going to walk out of here probably with some homework to work on regarding that. And then finally, at the end of it, I'm going to ask you whether or not you want to work with me and if this is something you'd like to do more of. So that leads me to my next step in the process, step number 2, which is my 2 favorite questions to get people to say yes. And that is this. Number 1, how was this experience for you today? And number 2, is this something you want more of? Now, because I set it up in the beginning of the sample session that I was going to be asking these questions, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's expected that they're going to hear me ask these questions. And they almost, I wouldn't say they look forward to it, but they know that's a piece of the puzzle here today now. This is an agenda item, so we're going to cover it. Okay, so there's no feeling strange about it or squirrely. It's just part of what we're going to do today. And just be very matter of fact about it. Now, what I like about these 2 questions is that 9 times out of 10, when you ask people how this experience was for them, they say, loved it, right? Yes, it was great. And I literally will stop I make sure I get very quiet during this part of the coaching and really let them hear their own words about how this experience was for them. That really helps to deepen the learning for them and helps to really make more of an impact, I believe, on their overall experience. And that, of course, gets them closer to yes. That's one of the beautiful side benefits of that. And then number 2, when you ask them, is this something you want more of? Almost 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10 even, people say yes. Yes, I do want more of it. Now, whether or not they actually go on and become a client, that's a different story because there are always sometimes obstacles in the way. There are sometimes obstacles in the way, such as timing isn't good, or they need to talk with a spouse and confer about spending the money, or there's a million things that can come up. But generally, they will always say yes to you, which always feels really good too. All right, so then number 3, once I get them to that point where they say to me, you know what, I do want to do more of this, but I need some time to think about it for whatever reason, I always then launch into, okay, great. So what's the best way for me to follow up? I ask them to tell me, do they want it phone call, email, text? Do they want it in 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks? I give them the green light to give me permission to contact them again on their terms. And that, my friends, is huge because they now have told you exactly how and when to communicate with them. So when you go along the way later to do it, you're not going to feel salesy or icky because this is a promise you made that you would do this based on the time and the method that works best for them. Step 4, the role, what I like to call the role of the little feel-good post-session extras. So one of the ways that really helps me not feel so icky is to really over-deliver, over-give. So at the end of each sample session, I ask for the potential client's home address. And I then afterward go ahead and take out a piece of stationery with my business logo on it and whatnot. And I write a very heartfelt note, typically championing them around a goal that came out during our sample session or a piece of learning that was uncovered. And I stick that in the envelope along with, and you've got a little graphic on there, but I stick them along with these little power thought cards. You can pick up these little dudes anywhere. This is a 64 card deck. Louise Hay does these. I do not make any money off of this, by the way. I just telling you what I do. You can find your own way that fits best for you. But these cost me, I think, like $16 for 64 of them, so it don't break the bank. And I literally open it up and I pull out the cards and I start thinking about the client and what the client's challenges and dreams are. And then I pull a card, and whatever card pops up is the card that I shove in that card or in that envelope with the stationery that I've just written with that letter. And I send it off to them. And I tell them, maybe this card, I drew this card for you. Maybe it'll give you a little extra perspective. I can't tell you how many people email me, Facebook me, message me, and say, I love that little card you sent. I can't believe that that was what came up because XYZ is happening now in my life. And that card is so appropriate. That message is so appropriate. And what's even better is that people will oftentimes take pictures of these cards and they'll put them on your Facebook page where everybody else sees and starts connecting again that, oh yeah, Charity is a coach. And oh, look at that. She's got a client who's talking about her. That's all good press, you guys. That's all good media. That's marketing. And that's something that is effortless on your end once the client starts doing it for you. So don't underestimate the role of little feel-good post-session extras for making you feel less icky, for being able to over-deliver, and creating some future marketing too. That's what I call the love bomb. All right, finally, number 5 in my 5-step process for how to ask potential clients to work with you without feeling icky. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay? Remember this. It is your responsibility as a business owner to ask your potential clients for their business because ain't nobody else going to do it for you. All right? And imagine for a moment if you go in to any kind of retail shop and you want to order a product, let's say, for example, that's not currently on the shelves. And they tell you, why don't I take your name and number, and when it comes in, I'll get back to you. What if they never get back to you? That's annoying, right? You're probably going to go down the street and buy that same product somewhere else if you don't hear back from them. But if that store had contacted you and said, hey, you were in here a week ago. We just wanted you to know that that product you were interested in is now available again on our shelves. Would you like, we can set one aside for you. That's smart business. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay? So make sure you're doing that with your people. All right. Let's change gears for a minute then. And I want to talk about 6 pitfalls that you want to avoid in client creation. Because let me tell you, I learned a little bit about pitfalls over the last decade. And the first one is this: you cannot go this alone, okay? Don't think for a second you can build this business by yourself. You need support. Even if that support simply comes from prayers to the universe. I always like to say that's where you should start, right? Because the universe is for you, not against you. It wants to see you succeed. So begin there. But then remember to lean on your sphere of influence. Like I said before, that sphere wants you to succeed. So lean on them, ask for their help. Here's another good one that I think a lot of us overlook. Connect with other coaches with whom you can trade referrals. There are so many different specialties that we have as coaches. There are those of us who do health and nutrition coaching. There are those of us that do career transitions. There are those of us that do divorce, love, whatever it is. When you have a client, a potential client, come in and do a sample session with you, and you feel that they might be a better match for someone who's in a slightly different niche, send them along. Give them the referral. Ask some of your fellow coaches if they would be interested in creating some sort of referral agreement with you so that you can make sure that your clients are being serviced to the highest degree possible and that you're finding yet another stream for building your own client base. And then finally, I like to create relationships with other like helping professions. So therapists are good favorite of mine, clergy, career counselors, resume writers, any of these kind of folks are great people to be in relationship with because they are constantly running across people as well, people who need the like services. And sometimes they will send people to you. You know, I have a good therapist friend. She and I regularly send people back and forth because, as I'm sure you've encountered by now, some people that come your way are more appropriate for therapy at this time of their life. And other people that visit my friend as a therapist are more suited for coaching. So just be aware that you can really utilize those affiliate relationships too. Number 2, pitfall to avoid: don't be passive in your client creation. In other words, don't sit back and wait for clients to come to you. Just because you've hung out your shingle and now you have a website and you've created a program and you're out there on Facebook, you think, okay, clients should be coming to me now. No, I want you to take the lead on inviting others to work with you. That means picking up the phone. That means sending out very customized, specific emails to certain individuals saying, I want to work with you. What is it going to take for us to be in relationship together as partners? I really want to coach you. If you feel strongly that you want to be in business with somebody, you need to make the step. The onus is on you. Empower yourself, right? Take the lead. You owe it to your business to be active in your client creation. And the other thing I want to remind you or tell you in case you don't know is that big dollar marketing efforts are much slower to bring you clients, way more expensive than picking up the phone and just asking for the business or dropping by and talking to someone about what you're up to or having coffee with an affiliate that might refer people to you, right? So taking out a lot of expensive ads in magazines and on websites and whatnot is not necessarily always going to be your best bang for your buck in the beginning, okay? As you grow, that philosophy might change. I know mine has changed over time a bit so that I'm doing more of the marketing because I now have more money to work with, all right? And you will get to that place too. But in the beginning, really don't feel like you have to be pressured to spend a lot of marketing dollars. Start with who knows you, likes you, trusts you, and ask them to help you. The other thing to remember when you're creating clients, and this is just a final note on this one, no from people. So if you ask them and they say, no, thanks. No does not mean I hate you or you're awful or you're stupid or you're a terrible coach or whatever. No just means not now. That's all it means. You know, it's like when the server at the end of a meal at a restaurant asks you if you'd like dessert and you say, no, thank you. It doesn't mean that you hate them and you wish they would never come back to your table again. It just means, no, not now. Thanks. So just stay in contact with those people over time, and you'll see eventually you'll be rewarded for it. All right, number 3 pitfall to avoid, like I kind of hinted at before, don't be vague about your intentions. Let people know that you need clients. Let your sphere know. This is not desperation, folks. This is just information. People cannot send people to you unless they know what your business is about, and you make sure of that, or you ensure that by communicating with them and letting them know what you're up to, who you help, and how you do it. So don't be a secret coach. Hang your shingle out proudly and let others see it, right? Number 4, don't go into a sample session without a strong offer and coaching agreement in hand, okay? Remember that you are never closer to getting a yes from a potential client than you are at the end of your sample session. They've just experienced you. They've just really felt some profound shifts. You've just asked them the 2 magical questions. How was this experience for you? And would you like to do more of it? They've said yes. So they're ready to go. So be prepared when they say, yeah, I think I do want to work with you, that you can then pop out and show them, well, look, here are 3 different ways or 3 different types of ways you can work with me. I'm a big fan of the 3-tiered pricing strategy, which some of you may have seen if you've downloaded my freebie. If you haven't, you can get that off my website. But in any case, those 3 programs that I offer give people an option. So when they're ready to say yes, they simply pick one. And then the next piece of paper I bring out is that coaching agreement. And I say to them, super, let's get your next appointment on the books, right? Let's go, let's do it. Have that copy of that printed contract or agreement ready for signature and just simply ask them for the business. All right, number 5, don't leave your sample sessions without getting the next appointment or follow-up call on the books, okay? Do not. So if they say, yes, I want to work with you, fabulous, get the next call on the books right away. Don't wait. Don't say, I'll email you some times you can pick from. Get it on the books. That also shows their true level of commitment. The other thing is if they say, I need some time to think about it. Well, like I said before, then figure out how and by what method, or when and by what method they want you to follow up and contact them. So follow up. Number 6 and final pitfall to avoid. And this one I think is big, you guys, because as new coaches, we feel like we need to take on everybody who wants to be our client. I'm here to give you permission and say you don't have to do that. And I even want to go one step further and strongly encourage you not to waste your time with those who you know may not be a match for you. Not everyone is meant to be your client. One of my very first coaches said that to me, Nancy Conger. She said, Charity, when I was lamenting one day that a person that I thought was going to be working with me actually said no, She said, Charity, not everybody's meant to be your client, and that's okay. And those have been golden words I've kept in my heart and in my head over the years as I've grown my business. So trust your gut. If your gut's telling you something's off, you're not quite meant to be a match, then let that person go. Find another coach or helping professional that may be better suited for them, right? The point is stay in integrity and make sure that you really want to be working with that person, that you feel you can help them. And if you feel like what they need is outside the scope of your services, then by all means, let them go, refer them out. Okay. Always remember that if you spend time and energy with those who are not a match, then you're taking time and energy away from finding those who are. Okay. So big thing to keep in mind there. All right. Let's talk about some ways to keep it fun. I used to, I was terrified when I first started trying to get coaching clients in the door. Even though I had a strong sales background and I knew what I was doing, I still was like, yeah. So for me, if it's something that's fun to do, I'm more apt to do it. So I used to make getting clients a game, and I literally called it the client game, where I would say to myself, between now and say next week, I'm going to get 5 paying clients. And even if those clients were only paying me $50 right out of the gate, that was okay with me. I was getting used to understanding how to take money, how to accept money for coaching services, how to feel comfortable doing it, how to charge people for it, how to do invoicing, et cetera, et cetera. So I would play this game with myself. And then at the end of the week, if I hit my milestones, I would do fun things like grab myself an extra Starbucks, right? Or I would maybe give myself an afternoon off and do some painting. Or I would simply just take a Friday and take a nap, right? I would find little things that I could do to reward myself that meant something to me and didn't break the bank, but little celebrations that could really keep me going, keep it fun. You can also play this client game, by the way, with other coaching colleagues. I've done that before too, and that's really fun, where you challenge each other and say, okay, by the end of next week, you get your 3 and I'm going to get my 3, and let's double back and see where we're at. And so that can be a good little fun way to keep it light and playful too. I also oftentimes will just try to think about keeping it fun by imagining that I'm just a scientist, that I'm just experimenting. I'm not attached to any of the outcomes here. I'm just attached to the process of mixing and matching different outreach techniques, ways of getting in touch with people. I'm just going to see what happens, right? Throw some stuff out there and see what brings success. And if it does, repeat it, just like a scientist. If it doesn't, okay, scratch that idea off, keep moving. That's how you get real progress. And then finally, celebrate no. I know that sounds crazy, but believe it or not, it takes 5 no's. This is the traditional selling rule of thumb, 5 no's to get to a yes. So every time you get a no, celebrate it, because you're one step closer to a yes. So I always say, go for no, just like the book. I can't think of the author right now, but there's a book out there. You should check it out. Go for no. The idea is allow no to be just as good in your heart and mind as a yes, because that's one step closer you are to getting clients. All right, let's talk then about 7 things you can do right now this week to start filling your practice. You do not have to wait. You can begin to do this now. Number 1. Here you go. Are you ready? Yes, it says 20 people. Call 20 people in your sphere of influence. Set up a sample session with them within the next 2 weeks. This is, I guarantee you, will be one of the biggest momentum builders for your business that you can possibly imagine. So sit down, write out a list of 20 people that you can call right now this afternoon when you get off this webinar, or tomorrow morning as soon as you get up, and invite them to attend a sample session with you. Number 2, in terms of building and nurturing those relationships, get out there and invite 5 people in your sphere of influence to simply have coffee with you, just to catch up. You don't have to even talk about business during this coffee appointment, but you must continually be building the relationship. A lot of people will ask me how I built my business, and I jokingly, kind of cheeky, I say, I built it with coffee. But it's literally true. I never refused a coffee appointment, a lunch appointment, anything like that in the beginning, ever. I went on every single appointment I could. I continued to build relationships just as robustly as I could possibly manage it. You can do the same thing. You can start by inviting 5 people to have coffee with you this week. Even better when you treat. Number 3, set up shop in a coffee house with the coffee house's permission, of course, or maybe in a church basement after a mass or a service, and offer complimentary 15-minute laser coaching sessions. Again, give people a taste of what coaching with you is all about. You'd be amazed how many people really enjoy this. It's almost like speed dating. It's like speed coaching, but they get a quick sense of what you do. And it creates this wonderful buzz around your business, right? Among people who both know you or may not know you. So that's a really good little thing to try. And you're giving to get. Number 4, attend a local networking event in your area. So this is where you get out there and you find networking events that sound somewhat exciting and appropriate to you. I know I say networking events and probably half the people out there right now are like, ugh. But the simple fact of the matter is relationships matter. So if you can get out there and get nose to nose and toes to toes with people, you're going to find that you can create some great momentum for that business. Now, when I used to go into my networking events, I tried to do 5 a month. And I always had one goal, which was to meet one person who I really connected with, get their business card. I would then go home, make sure I put that information in my list of special people that I regularly send things to. And then I would follow up with a note card saying how much I enjoyed meeting them, and an email after that inviting them to coffee. So start deepening that relationship, okay? Huge, wonderful way to build your database and to build your list of people and really build your business. Number 5, send out a communicate to your list of special people. Remind them what you're up to and remind them that you need referrals. Remind them how, or teach them how to refer people to you. If you're not in a commission-based or sales-based or entrepreneurial-based business, you don't always understand the absolute critical importance of having people refer people to you. And so it's important that you just let people know in a gentle, kind way that you are needing their help. You're relying on them and you would really appreciate their referrals. So it just helps them to keep it top of mind. Number 6, go out there this week and connect with 2 individuals who are in like helping professions. Remember, we're talking therapists, clergy, counselors, and ask them to meet with you for coffee. Learn a little bit about them, share some of your experiences with each other, and find out how you can support each other's businesses by trading referrals. Or maybe even doing workshops together. I don't know, all kinds of possibilities, create synergies, right? But get out there and find 2 people who you connect with that you can do that with. And then finally, number 7, thing you can do right away, and this one is a boom, wonderful little cash infusion. That's create a sale, okay? Create a special limited time offer. The whole reason that retail runs sales is because they work. So I remember back in I was probably right around in my first year, like month 6, I was feeling like things were slower than I wanted them to be in terms of my client load. So I thought, well, I'm going to run a sale. And I made some cutesy little marketing brochure around spring forward because it was springtime. Spring forward into your new career or whatever. I forget exactly what my language was. But I said, hey, 50% off any package between now and the end of March. And I immediately got 5 new clients because people respond to sales. People want a good deal. So what's great about this in the beginning is it gives you a chance to really get some momentum going. And 5 new clients, imagine if each one of those 5 new clients went out and talked to just 3 other people or 4 other people about their experience with you. That then suddenly you have now 20 people who know about you or who have heard your name. Those people talk to 5 more people. Now you got 100 people out there who are aware of you. And that's literally how you build it. Okay. All right. So I have just given you a ton of information, and I want you to know that I know it can be a little overwhelming. And here's some ways that I can help you take action on this information so that you can utilize it and really make good on it, that this just doesn't become another webinar you listen to and don't do anything with. So if you're ready to truly create clients for your business, I'm talking you ready to do some work, ready to roll up your sleeves, you're ready to make yourself a little uncomfortable at times, and you're ready to really cultivate that fun, smart, sustainable business, I got something for you, and I want you to listen closely. So I have created a program. It is called the Client Creation Catalyst. And I'm going to be offering 4 spots. I'm opening up 4 spots in my coaching practice. I keep a very limited number of one-on-one clients because I really like to be present and available. And I found at one point when I had 22 clients on my roster that was a recipe for burnout for me, not for everybody, but it was for me. So I have a very limited number of seats available. We are going to be working together in a one-on-one relationship. This is a premier package I'm offering that requires significant investment on your part, primarily in your time and your energy, but also in financial resources. So it's not cheap, but I guarantee you that if you are serious about getting 5 to 10 new clients into your coaching practice in the next 3 or 4 months, you need to be talking to me more about this program. The other big plus about this is that we have gotten this program approved by the ICF, the International Coach Federation. You can get 10 continuing ed credits for this in the business resource development portion of your renewal, which everybody needs. So it's part of your ICF renewal that you can get 10 credits for completing this program with me as well. So let's talk a little bit about some of the details of what this program will do, or if you decide to move forward, what you'll be doing with me. We're going to work together to build a high caliber list, okay? We're going to create that list for you. We're going to find your perfect right now clients, right? I'm going to help you find and build an airtight list that's consistent with your vision, consistent with who you want to work with, and that's going to bring you referrals for years to come. You know, when you learn who your potential clients are, where to find them, and then you're able to reach out to them, that's when the business starts to really take off. So we're going to really be working closely together to build that list. And we're going to be creating ambassadors too. I'm going to teach you how to do that, including languaging you can use, ways you can connect with people to become ambassadors for you, to help you do your bidding, and really to uncover the ways that are going to be best for you to grow and nurture your list over time. So I'm going to teach you how to do that too. We're also going to be working together to connect, make offers, and literally create your next 5 to 10 clients. That's what I want for you. I want you to succeed. I want you to have clients, because if you ain't got clients, you ain't got a business, and coaches are not out there then doing the good that they were trained to do. The whole reason you went to coaching school was so you could make an impact, right? And you saw the power of it because you experienced it yourself. If you don't have clients who can also experience it, then it's all for naught, right? It's so frustrating when you're so ready to go and nobody's biting on your hook, right? So I'm going to teach you, first of all, how to connect with people, and I do that through a variety of tools. One of them is the DISC assessment. We're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to walk you through a DISC sales profile. But more importantly, I'm going to teach you how to make those offers without feeling salesy. We're going to talk about some languaging you can use there. And we're going to work together to create, through my signature program that I have, that's the formula that I use to build my business. We're going to create those next clients for you. And when you are reaching out to people, you got to have a good offer, right? Something that's creative and that feels good to you and that solves their problem. So we're going to be working together as well during that time on that offer and what that offer looks like, so that when they do say at the end of that sample session, yes, I want to work with you, you've got an offer package ready to go. So we'll refine that too in our time together. And then finally, we're going to put all that together and create a plan for you moving forward, so that when the end of our time together, 3 months is complete. It is a 3-month program, by the way, I should have said that. 3-month program, 10 calls, an hour each time. And you will then have a plan you can use to continue to grow and continue to get your next clients after that, and your next clients after that, and your next clients after that. And watch your business actually bloom and blossom. It's fun when it does. So believe me, I've been on the side of it where it's not fun, when it's just stagnating. So I'm here to help. Now, just so you know too, in addition to those 10 continuing ed credits, you also get access, this is a little bonus, to all of my templates, my files that I use in onboarding clients. I don't want you to go out there and have to recreate the wheel and waste your time doing that. I want you to spend your time creating energy around these sample sessions. That's where you're going to make your money, not in a fancy website, not in the best looking intake forms or anything like that. It's going to come from you connecting with people. So I'm going to just give you right out of the gate access to my stuff so you can be inspired by it, use it, whatever. Great time saver. I had a coach do it for me, and it was so appreciated on my end, because it just took that layer of stress right off of me. One huge layer of stress was just gone. And I could concentrate on what was really going to matter most to my business in the end, which was getting clients in the door. So with that said, if you are interested in that program and want to learn more about it, you can book a clarity call with me. And there is the link right there on the screen, www.charityjet.com/clarity. If this program sings to you, I would love to work with you. I've taken a couple of coaches down this path now through the sort of beta runs of this program, and it's amazing the results they get. I had one client that got 4 new clients. She went from 0 to 4 new clients in just a matter of a couple of months. And that's not unusual, right? This stuff works. What I'm telling you is not easy, but it works. And I'm here to support you through it because going it alone sucks. That's just the only way I know how to say it. And it's lonely and it's hard. So be here with me, somebody who's been through it and knows what you're going through and can cheerlead and support you and make sure you have what you need to keep going in the right direction, to give you the pathway to follow. So book that clarity call with me to learn more because I'd love to work with you if it sounds like it's something that would be interesting and beneficial to your business. All right, so we got a few minutes left here. So I'd like to open up the chat box again. Miranda, if you could please unmute chat for us. Okay, looks like we're unmuted. So I'm just going to hang out here for the next, well, we've got 5-10 minutes left and answer some questions. So go ahead and write your questions in the box to the right. And I will stand by. There is a little delay sometimes, so bear with me, but don't be shy. There's no wrong, dumb question. Stick it up there. Oh, you are so welcome. Michelle said, this was really great. Thank you. I appreciate the time you've put in as well as the helpful tools you've provided us. Mwah! My pleasure. Go to it. Use them. It works. Great. I missed the first few minutes. I don't know what 1 and 2 are on the list. Okay, Deanne, great. Perfect. Miranda, is there a way to scroll back so she can just see that slide or not? Number 1 and number 2 while we're waiting for that. Oh, hey, look at that. Pretty easy. Number 1 was that you must, I just want to make sure I get to the right page here. Focus on building the relationships, right? And then number 2 is keep and nurture your list of special people. So Deanne, those were numbers 1 and 2. Great. Okay, Samantha, wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Loved hearing from you. Thank you, Samantha. Oh my gosh. So glad you made it onto the line. So glad, so glad. Samantha from Alaska. I believe it's Samantha from Alaska. If it's the different Samantha, then my apologies, but I think it's that one. Okay, Tammy says, I'm challenged with follow-up. I have ADHD and serve an ADHD population. Do you recommend a CRM or another system? Oh, great question. CRMs, for those of you who don't know, means customer relationship management. You also see it as CRS, customer relationship system. There is such a wide range of customer relationship management systems out there. I think no matter which one you choose, whether it's really sort of on the beginning end, like a MailChimp, which is free, I think, for up to like 1,000 people on your list, to something way more sophisticated, like a ClickFunnels, which is what I use, that really the key is you find a system that you will use. And if you won't use it and make it work for you, find somebody who does. This is why I have Danielle and Miranda. Because Charity ain't good about doing that. Charity is about putting the name in the list, and that's about it. But you need to run it like a machine, okay? So you need to find somebody who, if you don't have the ability to focus in and stay focused for longer periods, and you need somebody who can really work with that level of detail and keep all that together for you, that's a good investment on your part for your business. So I would say, I guess that would be my thoughts, Tammy, right out of the gate. Let's see. Oh, Miranda says, I like Insightly. It's free if you're starting out and can sync with your Gmail. Awesome. Okay, so that's another one to look into. All right, what else do we have? Tana, great points. Some really good thoughts to get moving. Awesome, good. Yes, get out there, get moving. You can start building this right away. All right, Anjali, an eye-opener session with a lot of clarity. Great practical tips, and I'm doing well. I'm not sure what that, I'm going well. Excuse me. But yes, good. I'm glad you got a lot of clarity. And, I try to really ground a lot of what I offer in practicality, because I think sometimes we know what we need to do, but we need to just know how to do it on a very practical level. And so that's what I'm here to do, is share with you what I know has worked for me. Let's see. You are doing well, I guess. Yes, I'm doing well. Yes. So do these things, Anjali, and you too will be doing well. Sherry says, Charity, thanks so much. You're welcome. Vibrant and knowledgeable. Thank you. Your branding was what caught my eye. Colorful, cheerful, lively. Wonderful. Well, you know what? That branding goes to or belongs to Danielle Baird, who is on this call, and she is my brand master. And you can see more of her work and connect with her if you like her work and what she does at Danielle Baird. That's DanielleBaird.com. DanielleBaird.com. Thank you for that, Sherry. Julie says, my clients don't usually publicly thank me or even post when they come for a session with me. My work may be viewed as a bit taboo. How can I encourage people to share their testimonies and experiences while helping them to feel comfortable? I also will work to connect with people to get referrals too. So I think part of it, Julie, is really, first of all, asking their permission. Like, is it okay that I mention you? And if it's not okay with them or you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can talk about a client without using their real name. Just share, a client came in today, or my client Mary, if her name is Brenda, don't call her Brenda. Say my client Mary today came in and we went over this kind of thing. Just keep it very anonymous, I think is the key. And how can I encourage people to share their testimonials and experiences? Just ask them to. Say, you know what, if this was great for you, would you mind just putting a little thing up on my Facebook wall or something to let others know about your experience? They may or may not be willing to do it. Another thing, but you'd be surprised how many will. And another thing that I like to do is I will send people literally like 5 questions in an email. And I'll say, can you please just answer these in 1 or 2 short sentences? And I do that. And then I use that and I ask their permission, can I use this then as a testimonial? So I'm prompting them on what to say, because a lot of times people want to say good things about us, but they just aren't sure where to begin. So help them with that. All right. Thank you, Charity. Catherine says, you're welcome. Do you go over confidentiality with clients at the beginning? Sherry asks. Absolutely. I let them know right out of the gate that this is safe and courageous space. Okay. It's safe in that everything they tell me is confidential, and it's courageous in that we're going to go places during the course of our conversation that might make them wiggle a little bit, that might make them feel uncomfortable. But I let them know that it always comes from a place of love, and that I am doing it in order to make sure that they get what they need to move forward. That's why they're sitting across from me, getting this coaching session on with me, because they want change. So I let them know that I'm here to provide that for them. All right, Jill, thank you for very practical tips. I especially like the outreach challenges. Do you follow up with your sphere of interest list generally by email with updates, or are they on your Facebook page? I get a bit lost in the many ways to follow up. I know, Jill, there are so many ways to follow up. So here's what I do. I have my coaching list. So I use, like I said, ClickFunnels, and within ClickFunnels, I can segment my people into various lists. So I have a general list that is just the universe of everybody I know. And about once a quarter, I send out something to them via email. It's just a little newsletter letting them know that what I've been up to, or if it's the holiday time, I just say, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever. Or any way that you can just communicate with them and remind them you're here and you're a coach. Then I have my segmented list of just coaches. And to those people, I send stuff weekly. And I try to always make sure that it is something valuable to them, something meaty and useful, and not just a promotional thing, not just oh, hey, look at me. But I really try to make it something that I think people will want to read because it's going to be meaningful to their business. And I usually it's topical for me in that I take it right from something that's happened with me in my business that week. So if I had an experience with a client and was reminded of, oh yes, the importance of the post-session follow-up, I might make a little blurb about it, put that in my newsletter, and that then becomes my blog post for the week too. So that lead article in my newsletter, I usually have 3 sections in my newsletter, and that lead article, which is that meaty, information-rich piece, is what goes on my blog as well. And then the other 2 parts of my newsletter that I send just to my coaches contains just some practical tips. I call it Mama Charity's Smackdown Moment. So if you're not on my newsletter, get on there. You can do that by either downloading the freebie guide or opting in on the website. And then you ask, what else did you ask here? Oh, sorry, I was going to tell you the 3rd section of that newsletter is usually whatever new offering I have out there, or programs, ways people can work with me. You always want to be letting them know how they can work with you. Then you ask, are they on your Facebook page? Okay, Facebook, here's my 2 cents on Facebook, and then we're going to cut it for today. But Facebook is great for building relationships. once you've established them a little bit. No, even if you haven't, they're great for building relationships. But the thing with Facebook is that I like to think of them as like icing on the cake, because the problem with Facebook is that you have limited amount of control in whether or not people see your messages and whether or not they're receiving them. You have a much tighter measure of control when you have an email list that you can regularly and consistently interact with. Okay. So definitely be on Facebook or Twitter or whatever one social media outlet. I always say, go for one, focus on one, get really good at it, stick with it. You can do that. But also make sure that you're having, I think, also have that email list in place too. All right, so that is the webinar for today. Make sure you book your clarity calls. I see we've already got some going. CharityGent.com/clarity. And take me up on the offer. It's a no pressure offer. I'm not going to twist your arm into trying to work with me. It's just an opportunity for you to see if we're a match and if the program that I'm offering might be helpful for your business. So with that said, thank you all so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate your time and love you, Coachy Loves. Go out there and get some clients for your business. Take care, everybody.